We bring you Dallas Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, and let's go get them. The weather's right.
See, I love hearing that. Now, we're almost upon the 50th anniversary, and the Cowboys are about to play the Vikings. So what are your memories of hearing about the original Hail Mary and its impact going forward?
Well, it just permeates the history and the byline of the Cowboys. It's wonderful to still be able to sit down and visit with Roger Staubach about those moments, Drew Pearson. I've had several times that that subject has come up with both. And it just reminds you of really, frankly, guys, the role that media plays in the game. The game is about tradition. The game is about competition. It's about entertainment. There's a little business involved with it. But it's sure about the tradition that the great plays and the great times have embedded in our fans. And so the media, I give all the credit in the world because they've made a moment in time, and they've made the nuances of it and what it meant. They've made that into a fable, if you will. Now, I know that sounds flowery and arm-wavy and all that, but it's a fact. It's a fact, and that's one of the reasons that we're all as excited about NFL football as we are.
Now, in terms of this Sunday evening's game, how is Dr. Jerry feeling about Ferguson and Clowney?
I've just been answering that one all morning. We'll see, and that's a fact. I can't tell you the days that we go out before a game and we've got a list of about 3 or 4 players, usually, different ones, of course, that are going to get out and run, cut, see how they feel, see how, in the case of anything to do with an injury like a concussion, and see their status. Right now, generally speaking, everybody that we have on our list is got a chance to step out there Sunday, see how they feel, see if they can actually cut and move to everybody's satisfaction. But generally speaking, I feel good about our availability for Sunday.
Jerry, with this few games left and all this on the line, how's your stomach feel with all of this? Like I'm nervous as heck every day waking up thinking about what you have to accomplish here to potentially get in the playoffs. I do it with a little bit of bourbon. How do you handle it through this time?
Well, I can tell you this: old Mr. Bourbon, or what have you, has assisted me throughout my life in many times. And but I'll never forget. My dad called after about 2 months. I'd owned the Cowboys, and he says, "My gosh, Jerry," he said, "I had no idea. I've never seen anything like the visibility that's involved." And he said, "I sure hope that you know how to handle the pressure. I hope I've shown you the way." Well, he did, and I said, "Dad, I've learned from the master." I'm talking to him on the other end of the phone. He's shown me how to handle pressure during these times. And so, yeah, you've got to deal with it. But just let me say this. It's a different kind of pressure now than some of the kinds of pressure that people deal with in everyday life. Let's get real. And it's different. It's serious. It's important to those that are involved at that time. But there's a lot more. I had a coach one time tell me, "Boy, don't vote for going for 2. Keep it to single extra point kick. Don't put another coaching decision on coaches." And the pressure is just too much. And I said, let me tell you, pressure. Look up in those stands and think about that TV audience out there. They're looking at us to alleviate a little of the pressure. Mm-hmm. Now, there's some pressure, folks. Some of them on Monday getting ready to go into the bank, and the bank expecting to pay off, and they're going to have to ask them for more money. That's pressure.
Jerry, last Thursday, Dak, after the game, said that after the loss, he said he was pissed off, and that a lot of guys in that locker room were probably pissed too. And I'm kind of curious if that feeling, if that emotion carries over for an entire week, if you've noticed that this team looks like it still has that kind of emotion in it right now, and if they can use that and they can be pissed off on Sunday.
Yeah, I think that this time, at this point, you look at what, and a couple of those games, or maybe more, that we could have played better, done some things different, and have a win up there rather than a loss on our record. Now it's where that play in a game or that series could make the difference. To me, that's what's being reflected on if you're a player. And you look back at it and say, look, but for this, but for that. Now, that is a subconscious way of getting yourself ready to go. I'm going to think about that because that'll help me not have those as much in the game that we've got coming up, because if we do well in these next games, we've got an excellent chance to write a story here that we'll remember the rest of our lives. And that's out there.
Jerry Jones joining us here on 105 to the Fan. Jerry, there's been obviously a lot of talk around Trayvon Diggs' availability. Brian Schottenheimer this week had the quote. He said, "I love him as a player, but ultimately he's got to show us that he's ready to do everything the right way." What does that mean to you guys, and what does doing things the right way look for getting Trayvon Diggs on the field?
Well, I'll cut right to it. Does his physical injury allow him to compete like we know Trayvon can compete? It boils down to that right there. And he's been working through that. We've been working through it with him. And you'd be surprised the numbers of players, both on any given Sunday or in general, just group. You'd be surprised that you work through it. You get here as a day like we are today, Friday. They'll have a certain level of expectation, activity from what they're doing out there today. They'll look at it Saturday, stay off of it quite a bit. And this is every player that's injured, that's iffy for Sunday. And then you'll go out there, and more often than not, I think you turn the list in of active players about 30 minutes before kickoff, maybe 40. But you turn that list in, and you have to look at that list to see which players you're going to be playing on the opposing team. Well, the same thing's happening on our teams, and I've seen us leave the hotel and thinking that they're going to be 2 or 3 active, and they get out and they try to go, and they're with the trainers, and they can't go. And so right there, within a 20-minute period of time, they go from can't go to go, or go. And can't go. So bottom line is, it really does mean we'll see how they look the day of the game.
One more on Diggs. Is there any, contractual consideration or reason that could go into determining whether or not to activate Diggs?
Not that I'm aware of, in terms of whether he's, contractual and injury are pretty clear cut. And if you can't go because you're hurt, then that usually does not impact your contract. And so, again, there's a lot of details in. There's incentives. He could be losing an opportunity to make some incentives. All of those things are there. I couldn't and wouldn't, frankly, answer that specifically this morning.
Jerry, are you at all afraid or concerned that he won't be able to be that player physically, get back to that, and be able to go at some point again?
Well, he's had a history here the last 2 or 3 years of being limited, and you have to look at that. Everybody, that's part of the appraisal. You have to look at it, and certainly. He hadn't been active with this year, and we, of course, are miss him. We miss his XP out there, and what we hoped we were setting up for the future when we made a contract with him going forward for years to come.
Now, I want to talk about another player that we hope will be good for years to come, Tyler Booker. We have talked about how good he has looked against pressure, but it also seems like he's mean, too. Is that what you want in an offensive lineman, right? Like that mean streak?
Yeah, we call that makeup. Makeup. Mm-hmm. What kind of makeup do they have? And, boy, let me tell you, he's got makeup. That just jumped out at you in the draft. It was a big plus for him. This guy's got makeup. He comes in almost as a leader type, which, by the way, your offensive line is an absolute fabulous place to have a great leader, because they're a team within a team, but the attitude of that game permeates the entire team. And so it's more than just the guy next to you that you're working with on a blocking assignment. It affects the entire team. He's been everything we hoped he'd be when we drafted him.
Were you a mean offensive lineman?
You know something? I pulled every play. Pulled and so my block was like a fullback block. And that's how come I was there, because I really was a fullback, a running back. And we had very light lines. When my last game, starting out here, we started at the Cotton Bowl, I weighed 182 pounds right before the game. And I was pulling guard against Nebraska that averaged about 250 at the time. And so, but it was the block was usually a roll block. Kind of threw your right hand across the player's body and rolled, and let your shoulder and back roll him up. And because usually you're blocking a tackle coming across or a end coming across. A lot of times you could get out in front of him and get downfield, but that was good. But let me tell you something. I've said this. I'm 83 years old. I'm still mad about it. They moved me from fullback when I was a junior. And fullbacks get to catch balls. They get to run with the ball. They get to do all that. That was my picture of me. So going into that line spot was a bitter pill. I'm mad about it right now, talking about it. I don't know why I agreed to it.
Jerry, I always remember, I always felt like Kevin Gogan was one of the meanest dudes I'd ever watched play the game. You got to see a lot of offensive linemen come through. Who stands out for you like that?
Oh, I thought, now we're talking play temperament. Temperament. Larry Allen. Mm-hmm. Larry Allen. And he had all the stuff to back it up. And he was so strong and so gifted with his feet. And boy, he's smart. Larry Allen's handwriting, he could have been hired by Hallmark Cards to do Christmas cards naturally with his handwriting. It was that pretty.
That is amazing.
And he was exceptional. He was exceptional, not only strength-wise, but foot speed. But, boy, let me tell you right now, he was football mean.
I do remember when I was an intern over at the website, at the Cowboys website, and I said, I'm going to talk to Larry Allen today. And he was sitting on the couch, and I said hi to him, and he said, what are you doing talking to me? And I thought I messed my pants, Jerry. And Leroy Glover laughed, and he was like, I'll answer your questions. But, yeah, Larry Allen was absolutely amazing.
I've often thought, let's just picture going in a place, a bar, or someplace to have a drink. Well, I've from time to time in my life had somebody from time to time be smart and say something that makes you mad at the end of the bar. I've often thought, how would you like to go in someplace and Larry Allen be sitting on 2 stools down and he do something and you give him a good mouthing? Don't you know that'd be the surprise of your life if he jumped up and took care of your mouth
And he would.
He would, man.
That'll make you be quiet on those circumstances.
Absolutely. Now, we've all talked all year about how well George Pickens has been playing. Do you feel like at all because of that, maybe fans, maybe some media folks have taken CeeDee Lamb for granted or kind of lost sight at what a weapon he can still be?
Yeah, I think we're being hard. I think the criticism of this last ball game is being hard on him and not justified. And I understand what we wanted to do, but there was more to it than met the eye. And let's just leave it all at that. But a game like that leaves us all wanting more. Mm-hmm. And, of course, when we lost Lamb, it was glaring. If we had had any type of play that didn't work the way it appeared it should work. That's a mouthful of saying that it is. I don't know if I've ever seen a body of work for a season dismissed as quickly as it was with Pickens getting criticized against Detroit. And that's madness. But boy, I'll tell you what, he's had a great week of practice. That really has a lot to do with it. Sometimes your practice week can impact your day, and he may not have had as good a week of practice the week before. But hello, I've never heard of a player that didn't have some better weeks than the week before.
How do you think he handled everything this week after the post last week and the Richard Sherman thing with Pickens?
Listen, I don't want to reply to the specifics there because I'm not for sure about the nuances. But George has really handled things really well every week. And, everybody's individuals out there and they have nuances. But on balance, he's really contributed to when we've had success. He's really contributing to the promise of success. He's a big part of what we're looking at the next 4 ball games.
Now, speaking of the next 4 ball games, you guys traded for Logan Wilson for a very specific reason. How important is it that he gets more playing time, especially since Kenneth Murray has struggled?
Yeah. Well, what is important is that we, at a given time, we've got the best we've got out on the field. Now, that's the key. And he really does do some things very well. He reads the blocks extremely well. And so Logan, I'm talking about, he reads it instinctively extremely well. And we need that when we've needed that. And so it doesn't surprise me that you come in and it takes a few games to basically blend in, so to speak. And that's a pretty coordinated spot, that linebacker spot. But he does read those blocks well. He's reactive. He's natural in there. That's big at linebacker. I think you'll see more of him.
Now, you guys obviously were able to make a huge comeback against Philadelphia, but I can't imagine these starts have been satisfactory for you and the team. How does this team get off to a better start in not only Minnesota, but all the games going forward?
Yeah, well, I think you basically, I've never been in a game plan meeting with coaching staffs that didn't either state we've got to have better starts or we've got to get off to a good start. And we've really come back from some slow starts this year. And so I'm going to look at it positively. I understand the negative part of it, but positively, look what we can do if we can get that start the way we want it and come out of there and go right down there with the ball and get a touchdown. I think on defense, we've got to work on. We're working on it, getting the best field position we can get on the kicks, and then stopping them and not letting them do good on their first down, on the first down of the first series. because that first down, if it gets out there and gets 5 or more out of it, then you're all of a sudden the very next play of the start of the game, you feel like you're looking uphill a little bit. All of those things matter. They're addressed succinctly. You can imagine how they're addressed. Big starts after the half, big starts to start the game are very important in football.
Absolutely. Hey, can you believe that Phillip Rivers is getting back into this game after all the time that he's taken off?
Well, that's admirable. You've had some situations in the past where at that position, which is the most premium position of experience, that position, quarterback. And you can get some gain out of the experience value. That's why older quarterbacks, there's such a spot for them, even though they may have lost a step. They make up for it with their just their experience and their mental approach to the game. So I know it's getting a lot of look. It's interesting to see how it is. But it doesn't surprise me that a grandpa can get out there and make plays.
Man, we appreciate the time. As always, good sir. Best of luck on Sunday evening, and we'll catch up with you next Friday.
Guys, okay, guys. Well, I enjoyed this visit for sure, and this is an exciting time for us. We've got this game right here. Don't look past it, but some good things could happen for us this year. Let's keep pushing.